So ever since these natural language interface tools have become mainstream and popular, I have always had a very I've always thought that there was a very good idea for an application of it, which is in meetings, just have someone keep track of action items and a summary of things that are said. Obviously, that's one of the most common and most easily accessible uses of this at the moment, being outputted at the end. But I've always thought that it would be good to have something that actually adds value during the meeting rather than just providing these summaries, these awesome summaries, which it does at the end. And so I don't think it's very complicated. So I don't have any experience with developing applications or anything, but I always thought just have something listen and give like a summary or a running summary every 10 minutes and then with every say 5 minutes, and then speak that kind of summary out or keep it projected on a whiteboard to help add value, as I said, during the meeting. And that kind of idea of like providing value during human conversation, during people's discussions, is actually something that is very easy to do. You can easily create a system which gives you something like artificial intelligence updates, or just general news updates, as you're speaking, just based off of the words that you're saying, or whatever topic you're talking about at that instance. If it isn't artificial intelligence, and if it's something else, it could just interject and provide you a thought while you're talking.
Sorry, I have a thought. Important. AI's data revolution affecting biometrics and careers could inform your system's contextual updates.
So this is a quick thing that I've set up, which has a kind of idea of taking in text and then sending that text for a bit of a response back to the meeting at the moment as a productivity tool. At the moment, it's not set up as I have just explained and as what I would like, because I'm not actually sitting in many meetings at the moment. But what I am doing is lots of brainstorming. So I've had this instead just take the text. It's roughly set up just a proof of concept, and then after a pause, it actually generates keywords to search through Reddit quickly and retrieve some relevant posts, which I found to be a very useful way of retrieving relevant data and news in artificial intelligence, which most of my brainstorming sessions are relevant to.
Sorry, I have a thought.
Failed. And then it pulls in this news and it summarizes it and just interjects into what you're saying with a helpful thought. It's a very, like, I don't know, random way of setting it up, and it's not at all I'm not at all an expert in user experience, and as a user, I'm very forgiving, so I like it. But the overall idea that this can be used as a live generative, as a live brainstorming tool for people using voice as it's spoken rather than the kind of general idea of it, making a summary of stuff towards the end, I think is a really good idea, and I found it very, very useful. I listened to this, so it's basically it's a Siri shortcut. It's like a few, I guess, not code, but lines of no code or whatever you would call it. It just keeps repeating and listening to what you say and sending it to what will be an API call to ChatGPT. But at the moment, I'm just using the app plugin, making a API call to Reddit and getting relevant information, and then helping with your discussion. I think it could be really, really useful. Like when I start working with companies that their subject matter is a bit more topical, brainstorming, just talking. If it's a government, you could ask them talking about things like the economic state in London. It'll pull through and get these like Reddit posts as useful as a Reddit post can be, of someone saying like, oh my God, look at this thing that's happening in London, and then it will just kind of interject that into what I'm saying. And obviously everything is completely replaceable. You can have, instead of Reddit, which I've just done at the moment, there are a huge other list of sources of information that you could get to integrate into it, and the general idea of having that then thrown at you live as you're talking, either like through a display or through a stupid voice, like I think is really, really, really useful. And I've found it to be very, very, very useful. So yeah, thank you.